let's talk about the judicial branch. What is it?
The judicial branch is the third branch of our government, and it is found in the third article of our Constitution. The judicial branch is headed by the Supreme Court, and their main goal is to interpret the constitutionality of laws.
So you mentioned the Supreme Court. How does one become a member of the Supreme Court? Are they elected? Are they appointed? What's the process?
So it is through a process of appointments. If a position actually becomes vacant, then the president has the power to appoint a new justice onto the bench. However, it must be with Senate approval. And therefore, whenever there is a Senate that is dominated by the same party as the president, then the president has a much better time actually getting his nomination through.
How long do justices on the Supreme Court serve?
So according to our Constitution, there is technically no limit to the amount of time a justice serves on the bench. So for the most part, we say that Supreme Court justices get to serve for life or until they decide to retire or resign from the position.
It's interesting that there's no term, that they have this life appointment. What are the qualifications to be on the Supreme Court?
So according to our Constitution, there is actually no qualifications to be on the Supreme Court bench. However, it's fairly common to be able to assume that the Supreme Court justices are going to have a law degree, usually from an Ivy League school, and also to have some kind of experience serving on a lower court before they can be appointed.
Is the Supreme Court a political institution?
So many critics actually believe that it is, and that's for the reason that the nomination process, the confirmation process, as well as the decision-making process of the Supreme Court are all very much political in nature. However, that was not the intentions of the framers when they wrote the Constitution.
Why is the Supreme Court important? Why should our students learn about the Supreme Court?
So it's important for us to be able to understand the role of the Supreme Court when it comes to issues of civil rights and civil liberties. And the Supreme Court decisions essentially carry the same effect as law once the decisions are made. And therefore, they have a huge impact on our political landscape. Two landmark decisions that have been very important include Roe v. Wade of 1973, as well as Brown v. Board of Education in 1954.
To learn more about this issue, please refer to your textbook.